What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right. Hope your Saturday morning's off to a great start. Hope your weekend is off to a great start. LSU, what a day for LSU athletics it was on Friday. LSU, they basically won everything. Baseball team won game 2 against Tennessee 6-4. The LSU women's basketball team beat Virginia Tech with an incredible fourth quarter rally to advance the national championship game against Iowa, who upset previously undefeated 36-0, now 36-1, South Carolina. So Kim Mulkey will play for national championship in year 2 on Sunday. Softball team won, and LSU gymnastics advances to the regional finals on Sunday. So, man, oh man, what a great day yesterday was. I mean, everybody won. Everybody won. So, great day yesterday, man. So, we'll say some good mornings. We'll talk about it. Let me know what y'all got percolating, what you're thinking, and questions, comments, etc. Had a great day yesterday. Hogs for the Cause was awesome. Fantastic event, man. I was really glad to be down there for that in NOLA. Let's see. How about the baseball Tigers, man? I guess we can start there. Just kind of go chronologically. Baseball Tigers win 6-4. The long ball was flying, and Ty Floyd gave up 3 of them, 2 solo shots and a 2-run shot. But man, like they've done so many times, LSU responds. Tigers gave up a solo homer in the first. They respond with a 3 spot in the bottom of the first with 4 doubles. In the fourth, Tennessee hit their 2-run homer to take a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the inning, LSU responds with back-to-back homers to retake the lead. Brady Neal, Gavin Dugas. And then LSU would add another one in the 6th to go up 6-4, and that'd be your final. So, even Dylan Cruz, who was having a little bit of a rough day by his standards, got a single in the 8th to keep his hit streak alive. He did walk in the game, though. But got it done, man. Ty Floyd gave you 5 innings. Wasn't his best, but allowed the 4 runs, all on homers. Struck out 5, walked just 1. They went to Chase Shores, who threw up a couple of zeros for you. And then handed the ball to Griffin Herring, who pitched the final 2 innings and was dominant. Did not allow he didn't allow a base hit. He struck out 4 of the outs they recorded were by strikeout. But the final out of the game looked like he did get it on a strikeout, but Brady Neal had to throw down at first base, and he threw it a little wide, and Morgan couldn't get back to the base. So anyway, batter reached on a strikeout, and then Herring came back and struck out the next guy. He was incredible. Griffin Herring was awesome last night. So a lot to like, man. You go into today with Thatcher Hurd getting the ball, and you could bring Chase Shores through 22 pitches, Herring through 24 pitches. Either of them could throw again today. Riley Cooper hasn't thrown yet. I mean, basically everybody is available. You could bring Garrett Edwards back today if you needed him. Everybody's available today. Everybody's available. So, I mean, Burns started for Tennessee, and they went to Andrew Lindsay after that, and he threw 64 pitches, so he's done. They've burned 2 of their arms out of the bullpen. They got a lot of them. So Tennessee's got a lot of arms too, but literally LSU could throw anybody today. So piece it together, hit the baseball, and try to sweep the Vols. It'd be awesome. Bubba Smith, good morning. Brian Penton, what's going on? Kelly Gross, Stephen Robeek, what's up, man? Good morning. Stephen, I owe you a call. I was out of town when you called me last week, and when I got back in town, I forgot to call you back. That's my bad. I'll call you after this. Bubba Tatum, good morning. Great win last night. Headed out to watch the Blue Angels. Listen to the Tigers go for the sweep. Awesome. Dylan Horn, good morning. Love the way Ty Floyd bounces back. He's never quite sharp, but competes his ball. He never has clean innings. You know who it reminds me of? Do y'all remember Ryan Eads? Ryan Eads, who pitched for LSU on that 2012 team that had Gosman, Eads, Nola as the rotation. All 3 guys that were, Gosman and Nola were high first-round picks. Eads might have fallen into the top of round 2. Either that or he was a compensatory pick. Anyway, but had great stuff, but could never work a clean inning. He just could never have a clean inning. He'd get 2 quick outs, and he'd walk a guy, give up a single, and you had first and third with 2 outs, and he'd come back and get a strikeout. That was Ryan Eads. That's Ty Floyd. He's got great stuff, great potential. He just can't work a clean inning. But he gets through it, man. He gets through it. LSU Terra Wild. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Jeff McKithen. Good morning. There we go. What a night. Local watering hole was packed and loud. Dane Bergeron, Jamie Leday, Kathy Hernandez, good morning. Brandon Hoyt, Blake DeVilliers, the box erupted. I saw that the box, whenever they announced whenever the LSU women beat Virginia Tech, and that game went final, they had it on some screens around the box, like in the concourse and stuff like that. Some of the videos were really cool of the fans cheering. And then obviously on TV watching the game, the baseball game, you could hear the moment whenever it happened. It was cool. Craig Dugas, Multi-Mania running wild. Heels up, we riding. Instead of boot up, heels up. Got it. Ben Boudreaux, what was your favorite food yesterday at Holics? Unfortunately, Ben, I didn't get to try a ton. But, man, there was this, the place we were at, man, the chicken wings were incredible. By the way, Friday, I gave myself a special dispensation being at a charity barbecue event. So I ate meat yesterday. Catholics in London. If you're not Catholic, don't worry about it. But everything I had was awesome, man. Brad, David, Wendell, Norman, Stewart, Angers, good morning, Spurge. What's going on? Spurge in Mandeville. All right, Spurge. Glenn Garner, A. Withers, Chris B. 17 watching. Yes, let's see. There's 124 watching live. Shout out to y'all. We appreciate that. Please smash that like button if you're there on YouTube. Appreciate that very much. Let's see. Jesse Brown. I may have been the only guy that thought Iowa had a legit chance to beat USC. Do you think LSU can defend Caitlin Clark? No, I don't. But that's okay. It's like one of those things where you just, so for those who don't know, Iowa's best player is Caitlin Clark, who's the first ever to have back-to-back 40-point scoring games in the NCAA women's tournament. And she's magnificent. And I think you just sort of acknowledge, she's going to get hers. You just can't let everyone else beat you as well. So, listen, I'm not going to sit here and X and O that game. I don't know enough about Iowa basketball or deeply enough about the LSU team to tell you how they match up against this Iowa team or whatever. I'm going to watch the game on Sunday. I'm going to have a good time watching it. Hopefully watch LSU win a national championship. I'm fired up. They don't have to play South Carolina because I think South Carolina was a terrible matchup for them. I don't think, I know. South Carolina's size would have been a major problem for LSU. LSU lives in the paint. They live on the offensive glass. And South Carolina takes that away. See if they can go get one more. And cut down the nets. Larry Garner, Cortland Jacob, Brad David. What was the the work retreat you went on, it looked like a nice place. Yeah, so it was at Covey Rise in Hustler, Louisiana. So once a year in early spring, like late February, early March, um, we the Guarantee leadership team, which they assembled several years ago, we do an off-site work retreat. So we have, it's like a lot of meetings and then a little bit of play as well. So some downtime, dinner, sort of like it's sort of a thank you for all that we do. We get a lot of work done as well. So. Austin Kidder, good morning. Order has been restored to the SEC baseball. Do you think the Lady Tigers match up better against Iowa than SC? Absolutely. There's no doubt. Like, the South Carolina's size would have, I mean, it did give LSU problems. I mean, you know what's interesting? I was thinking about this last night when Iowa won. I wondered if, like, Iowa has a little bit of the okay, this is a stretch, so please don't think I'm comparing the upsets, okay? But it's kind of like the 1980 U.S. Hockey team, the Miracle on Ice team. They beat the Soviets in the semifinals. That wasn't the final. I think they had to come back and beat Finland in the gold medal game. So, and they got behind in the gold medal game and had to come back. So it's almost like did Iowa did Iowa empty the tank to beat South Carolina? What do they have left? Can they come back and win it after that kind of that massive of an upset? Anyway, Baby Bobby, good morning. Relax, chill, and focus. Good morning. Hunter Fournette, Shores and Herring were nasty. Little wombo combo out of the pen yesterday. This has been a great weekend because you can see LSU's bullpen come together. LSU is Finland. Yeah, I think LSU is Finland in this situation. Now, of course, the Americans came back and beat Finland, but they were down. Or maybe, how about I was trying to think of like a college football playoff analogy where if you had like a semifinal win, no. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like where you pull off the big upset and then you lose the next week in the championship. Anyway. Samuel Smith, Jordan Wright, and Jalen Cook always work out together in the offseason. Please come home to LSU. Samuel, I've said this before. Sometimes I tell you the story without telling you the story. That's one of those instances where I was telling you the story when I said over and over that Matt McMahon was going to start by recruiting local kids home. Suffice to say, it's no surprise whatsoever that Jordan Wright and Jalen Cook entered the transfer portal. With respect to Cook, remember he's already transferred once. So Cook started at LSU, went to Tulane. He's become an all-conference player at Tulane, and I think would absolutely come back to LSU. He would have to get a waiver to be eligible, and I think that he's confident he could get it. Put it to you that way. So we'll see. Thomas Bagby, Tony Vitello was a chump during his interview mid-game. Blamed scheduling and went after sports writers. Said he had 9 new players, blah, blah, blah. Came across his mind. Okay, I don't care. Just keep winning. Storm DeWitt, Cortland Jacob. LSU had a great day. On the flip side, South Carolina had a bad day. 2-win streaks ended. That's right. Mississippi State beat South Carolina in baseball yesterday. Mississippi State is still very bad. LSU goes to Columbia next week. Be a good series. Cortland, what's going on? Samuel Smith, if Hurd continues to struggle, Herring could get the nod to start on Sundays. On the flip side, he could be a closer. Yeah, listen, someone else mentioned that yesterday about Herring being a closer. Someone mentioned that on Twitter. That's not going to happen. He is, I would argue, your best left-handed arm. So you've got Cooper, obviously, and Ackenhausen, who's injured. And Herring right now looks like he's got the best stuff of the 3, and certainly looked yesterday like he had the moxie. If that's your best left-handed arm, you're not going to save him in the event that you have a lead and have a save situation. You're going to go to your best left-handed arm when you need to go to the pen and bring in a left-handed arm. So that's that's not. I don't think that's plausible. With Herring being your closer. I mean, it would be a different story if Ackenhausen was healthy and pitching really well, or Riley Cooper was pitching really well. It's just neither is right now. Like Ackenhausen's not healthy and Cooper's not pitching great. So Herring becomes your best left-handed arm. You can't just save him in the event that you have a save situation. So no, I don't see that happening. Glenn Garner, let's see. Irfan Sayad, good morning. Glenn Garner said 225 vote, y'all. I can't think of any more email addresses. I appreciate that. I'll post it again. Yeah, Monday is the deadline. So best of 225. Your boy was nominated for best radio personality. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge was nominated for best radio station. So would really appreciate if you would take a quick second and vote. I'll go ahead and drop the link in the chat if you all wouldn't mind taking a quick second and just click that link I just posted and vote. You have to have I think you have to have like a local address or something like that. But if you would vote, Monday's the last day. Monday voting ends. So, does anybody have tickets to the national championship game? By the way, might make a drive. Maybe. Anybody know anybody in Dallas who might have a line on tickets? Might make a drive. Glenn Garner said 163 watching, only 3 likes. I don't think I'm seeing it, there's 41 likes. You may need to refresh, Glenn. I'm not sure what's going on there. But yes, thanks to everybody watching on YouTube that smashes that like button. Where are we? Chandler Watts, Jeremy Sagely, Scott Perkle, good morning. Brant, one of the past 2 games would have been worth me flying down. Got to see 2 great games. The crowd was electric with the women's basketball game going at the same time. Yeah, so Brant's he's LSU, lives in Knoxville. He flew in for the series. He told us months ago that he was flying in for the series. So you're catching a great one, man. Hopefully we want one more today at 1 o'clock. Charlie Gale, Jerry DeLucky, good morning from Virginia. Okay, man. Blake Oob, Amy LeBlanc, top of the morning, Scone Brook. So Amy, that Scone Brook, that dates back 11 years now, right? 2012, the Scone Brook nickname. Jan Berrio. Scott Beckham, what was the final attendance number yesterday? Had to be close to the record 2 days in a row. Let's check it. But I tell you what, that is something though, right? If they on a Thursday that they set the attendance record. Last night was 12,551, 12,551. So the record they set on Thursday was 13,068. Pizzolato GL tried the Shinerbach Trail Ale. Okay, oh, that was the one Feinswag recommended. I remember. Chandler Watts, all the Sue Gunter Court controversy only for Mulkey to win the Natty in the same year as peak LSU board ignorance. Hey man, set for we're just gonna like hyphenate it, right? Brown, Gunter, Mulkey, Chapman, Chancellor, like everybody's been to just put all their names on. Craig Dugas, can you work on getting the general on AFR or bring him back on the NIL podcast? Need to hear from him and how he's feeling to be coaching again, along with challenges of working at a smaller program. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Will's been great to us, man. Happy to do that. Brian Broom, Anthony, Google News, headed to the box for game 3. All right, dude. Safe drive, man. Safe drive. Vegas at South Carolina by 11. I'll give Handegriff a hat tip. Charles Handegriff yesterday in his 5-pack did give out Iowa plus the 11.5. He said, look, I mean, South Carolina probably wins the game, but 11.5 is just too much. So you're right. Todd Harris, good morning. Been out of the loop for a while. Had to go see my first 2 grandbabies, born 3 weeks apart. One in San Diego, one in Philly. Oh my goodness, 5,800-mile RV trip. How about that? Well, congrats, Todd. That's great news, man. Congrats to you and your family. Susan Lipscomb, your video is being interrupted. Sorry, I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe refresh or X out and come back. Matt Krisman reminds me of 2017 when Mississippi State beat UConn, team that won 110 games, goes to the Final Four, lost to South Carolina in the championship. That is a good one. I thought, and you know what? Who said that? Matt, that's a good point. I was mistaken. I thought that was when State beat that UConn team. I thought that was the Natty. No, so that's the best example. When State beat that UConn team and ended their long winning streak, but then lost in the championship. That is the example. That is it. Tony Williams, what's up? Let's see. Amy saw empty seats in Dallas. Not sure lots of fans making the drive to, no doubt. Taylor Kale, what's up? Yeah. Brian Arsonist said, like I said yesterday, couldn't wait for today in episode 1884, LSU wins series over Vols. Yep. You did say that. Let's see. Yeah, David first said, surprised to see South Carolina gave Clark so many easy finishes at the rim. Yeah, I don't think they were giving her easy finishes at the rim. Maybe the most impressive thing about Clark yesterday was her ability to cut to the rim. Her dribble penetration was impressive. It's obviously a very different speed than watching a men's game or sort of like an NBA game. But she got a lot of easy looks at the basket because her dribble penetration was so quick off the ball. And South Carolina couldn't keep up. They didn't have anyone that could stay in front of her. So, anyway. All right, YouTube, please smash that like button. 187 watching. Appreciate that. If you're new, please subscribe up to the channel. Appreciate that as always. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Need an orthopedist, go to Brock. After Hours Clinic, open on nights and weekends, alternative to the ER. We're at Brock this week, as a matter of fact. Drew had to go get checked out by Dr. Brad Collada, best pediatric orthopedist anywhere. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco's pinned in the chat. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. Had somebody message me, I won't say his name, but said, hey, I have sciatica. My doctor gives me an injection. Do you think, could Crystal, does she give injections? I was like, no. She will do the antithesis of that. She would encourage you not to get an injection. That's the point. An injection is only going to mask the symptoms, but exacerbate the problem. It doesn't make your problem go away. It just an injection just masks the symptoms and makes the problem worse. So she's going to go find the root cause of what's causing your sciatica and fix it. So Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. And ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. A Bearded Dragon. Shores scares me sometimes. When he's on, he's really on. When he's off, he's way off, but still a bright future. Yeah, I mean, the dude is 6'8" and throws 100. He's sensational, and he is going to be a front of the rotation guy during his time at LSU. Irfan Sayyad. Loved watching the game last night. Best part, every time the Vols scored, Tigers answered in the next half inning. Irfan, that's happened all year with this team. I mean, it has been one of the hallmarks of this LSU team, this baseball team, is their ability to answer. It happened on Thursday in Game 1 when Tennessee tied in the 8th. LSU came back in the bottom of the 8th and got the 3-run double by Thompson. I mean, they respond. The Gavin Dugas homer. Well, I guess that was in the 5th. But anyway, that has been a hallmark of this team. Did it last week against Arkansas. Arkansas put up a 2-spot in the first. LSU responded right back. Donovan Peterson, good morning. Headed to the box. Okay. Bruce Shales, good morning. Dugas having the series of his life. Cortland, the entire infield watching a ball fall to the mound for a double. Yeah, it was Josh Pearson who hit it. It bounced off the mound, bounced way. It landed between everybody. Strong side. Good morning, Dat Cajun. Good morning. Eric Waterrider, Nikki Fargas having a front row seat as an analyst during this run is a chef's kiss to this amazing run. I'm not super bitter about Nikki Fargas. She had plenty of opportunity. It didn't work out. It's not her fault that Dawn Staley made the comments she did. That's a Dawn Staley problem, not a Nikki Fargas problem. Nikki Fargas has been fine, you know. She's doing her job, and that's fine. It was Dawn Staley saying if Nikki had gotten the support, which is just ignorant and wrong. I mean, we went through the numbers. There was plenty of, like, when Nikki was hired, she had tons of support. And they gave her plenty of opportunity. She just didn't win. And ultimately people disengaged. I mean, it's just what it is. Peter Fenner, good morning, Gulf South. Hell of a day for the Tigers. Baseball, basketball, softball, gym. Talked about it all as we opened. I didn't see the track, but tennis as well. But yeah, talked about it all as we opened, and congrats to gymnastics as well, who didn't have their best meet and still advanced to the regional finals, so they'll compete on Sunday. Cortland LSU did a decent job against Virginia Tech, who shoots threes. Their girl made more threes than Clark. Paul Lowry, Jason Mobile, good morning. Did you ever ask Coach about the watch pitchers wear? Yeah, no, we've talked about that, Jason. That is, it's not a watch. That's how they call pitches now. Instead of the earpiece where the pitching coach signals the pitch to the catcher, who then relays it to the pitcher, the pitching coach in the dugout will call the pitch, and it shows up on the watch what pitch they want in the location. That's what that is. Okay. Jason Mobile going to Bayou Kick Fest today in NOLA. Lots of kicks going in the bag. I would love to know where Bayou Kick Fest is. Glenn Garner, what's going on? Paul Lauer. Oh man, I'm way behind. That's the LSU is Finland. I'm sorry, I'm very far behind. Let me get caught up here. Going for the sweep, Dale Broussard. Expect many cha-chings today. For those that cha-chings is a reference to what Erica would like baseball to call runs. She's like, what do they call runs? They should be called cha-chings, like something fun. Yes, lots of cha-chings. Erica's not here, by the way, so I'm home alone with Drew right now. We're supposed to have a breakfast meeting today with my guy, the one and only Darren James, but Erica had something this morning, so I had to. So I'm at home with Drew solo. All right, Brett DeGrow, Trivia Carter, good morning. Soccer for my daughter, okay. Go team, go. Cortland, I don't know if Jay cares about the closer title. Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. Yes, of course he would love to have someone at the end of the game they could hand the ball to, throw 100, and nobody could touch. It's a luxury that every team would love to have. And I've told you this before, but that was going to be Grant Taylor. Handed to a guy at the back of the bullpen who comes in and throws 100 and just shoves and gets the final 3 outs. Like, that was going to be Grant Taylor. When Grant Taylor was injured, they looked at Christian Little and said, okay, well, Christian Little struggled in that role, obviously. So, of course, he would love to have someone in that role. But sans an obvious choice, you take it situationally and who's available. And yesterday, Griffin Herring did a great job. Hunter, pretty sure Edwards is your fireman. Jay's going to play matchups with Shores and Edwards or Herring. Yes. I mean, we've talked about that as well. Edwards is your stopper. Like some people after Thursday, Edwards will be the closer. No. You got to purge that out of your mind. Jay's going to use these guys situationally how it best suits him. Shores is interesting because Shores can extend, and so he's probably going to be a long middle relief guy. Edwards can too, but that's more likely what Shores will be. And Herring is your best lefty. That's going to be his role as well. Whenever Jay needs a lefty, Herring's going to be the first one out of the bullpen. Trivia, what happened in a post-game show? I was watching the basketball game. See if we do something today. Well, I don't know if we do something today. Maybe, we'll see. Janet, starting a 5-hour drive. Please keep talking. You got it, Janet. Thanks for watching. Randall Offright. Morning, Matt. Who's the best baseball coach in the SEC, in your opinion? Well, I mean, I know people will start with, all right, who won a championship? So you can look at Kevin O'Sullivan. You can look at Mike Bianco. You can look at Chris Lemonis. And then you can look at coaches that have been to Omaha. Jim Schlossnagle's been to Omaha. Obviously, Jay Johnson has been to Omaha. Tony Vitello's been to Omaha. I would look, the most accomplished is Kevin O'Sullivan. But I'll tell you this flatly, and I mean this, I wouldn't trade Jay Johnson for any of them. Tim Corbin, thank you. Sorry, Cortland. Yeah, thank you. I feel like there was one I was missing. I was running through the East, and I'm like, Georgia, South Carolina. It's like, yeah. Tim Corbin, thank you. So maybe Corbin's the answer as far as the most accomplished. Corbin, then O'Sullivan. But I'm serious. I mean this. Like, I would not trade Jay Johnson for any of them. At this point in his career, as good of a recruiter as he is, ability to assemble staff, the fact that he feels like he's got the best job in baseball, doesn't want to go anywhere. Like, I would not trade Jay Johnson for anybody. So, like, I mean, like, if you gave me the option today to take Kirby Smart over Brian Kelly, I'm making that trade. With respect to Brian Kelly, but Kirby's, in his 40s, might have just hit 50. He's already won 2 natties, can recruit, see change in college football, and he's dominant. Like, I would do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't take any baseball coach in the league right now over Jay Johnson. Glenn Garner, Shelby Kelly, I don't think this team is going to have a closer. Yeah. Brambo, let's go. My family and I are on the way to Baton Rouge to go to the zoo and watch LSU, Tennessee. This will be my 4-month-old son's first LSU event. Okay, that's awesome, man. Y'all drive safely and enjoy the day, man. Zach Lynn's Thursday was my first time at the box. Well, Zach, never go back because I'm not sure it's going to get any better unless you go for the postseason. Bruce Shales, let's see, saw on Twitter you may be doing a companion show for the Natty. So, Bruce, I should have clarified. No, cannot do a companion show. What we are thinking about doing for Sunday, and I would like some feedback, is maybe a game watch / post-game a la whiskey and wine type deal on Sunday for the national championship game. But I want to know if there's people interested. Like, if we end up going to Don Juan or like Pluckers or something like that to do a game watch and then a post-game to follow, would people come out for that? Otherwise, I would say we just do something like in studio. And just fire it up on YouTube in studio and just get some content like that. So, Gulf South, you have 4-2. 6 people from these chats had a baby around the same time. Plus T-Bob, yeah. That's true, man. We did go on a little bit of a baby boom, didn't we? Like, it was like it felt like there was a run there where. At least once a week, like, hey, I'm at the hospital. Baby boy was just born. But yeah, that's true. Well, congrats to all the new-ish parents. I guess 4 months, you're still new. Let's see. Shelby, my wife's first trip to the box was the Super with Nola versus Gray. Wow. Do you think Vitello gets tossed today? I don't know. I'm going to go no. I think he's been tossed twice this year. So odds are no. Dustin Abier, got my Wi-Fi back just in time. Waiting to go pick up my sack. 'Tis the season. All right, crawfish season. Go get it, man. Brad Warner, are we back to gorilla ball? Seems like balls are flying out. Not at that level. I mean, you got to keep in mind, the 188 homers at LSU in 1997, like they'll never do that again. Tennessee had a magnificent season last year and were 30 homers short of that. They hit a home run. LSU in 97 hit a home run in every single game. So impossible to say that it's back to that. I am glad that there's more offense in the game, and everyone seems to agree. Whether they tightened the baseball, they lowered the seams, whatever the case is. Obviously, they changed the bats again several years back, but it's a more fun game when you have the opportunity for offense like that. Let's see, Shelby. Vitello hasn't had the same juice he's been known for. I mean, hard to be super fiery when you're getting your head kicked in. I mean, when Paul Skeens shoves 7 innings of 100 mile an hour fastballs right up your T Heine and strikes out 12, I mean, it's humbling, you know. They lost a lot from last year, man. They did. Kolekak. Josh Giraldo flying under the radar a bit. Just a bit. Brady Neal, a superstar on the cusp of exploding. The at-bats he's put together this year against the best pitching LSU's faced impressive. You know what's Josh, from the game yesterday? Brady Neal's homer that tied it in the fourth. He was down 0-2. He was down 0-2 to Chase Burns. And battled back in that at-bat to hit the homer. I remember we talked about this, if y'all are here on Morning Scone. This was early in the season. We talked about Brady Neal and his ability to hit to all fields. The homer yesterday was an opposite field shot. The homer he hit against Arkansas last weekend on the Friday game was an opposite field shot. Not only have power to all fields, but to just be able to spray the ball is very impressive for a young hitter, for any hitter, but especially for a young hitter. So I agree. I agree completely. Brandon Tilley, good morning. Happy to see success with purple and gold yesterday. All around fine day. Yes, sir. Jay Sessions, can Dugas hit dingers 3 days in a row? Can he? Absolutely. Willie, we'll see, but I'd love to see it. Stoned Muso, good morning, Tiger Nation. Great weekend. Excited to see if we can win a natty in women's basketball. All of y'all keep Little Rock and Central Arkansas, your prayers. Tornadoes, lots of damage. Oh, you hate to hear that, man. For sure. Dustin McGinnis, good morning. Anthony James, Baby Bobby, 11:45 John Wick 4 with 2 of my sons. Well, you're going to miss the start of the baseball game at 1, but set your DVR or go back and watch it on demand. Enjoy the time and the day with your sons, man. Let's see, smash that like 230 watching. I love it, man. You can tell it's been a huge week. We got 230 watching there on YouTube and 43 on Facebook. So we're close to 300 people watching live. You can tell, man, it's people are feeling it, man. Josh Langlois, what batting average do you think Cruz will finish the season with, above 450? No, I don't, Josh. That realistically, I mean, even if he was 1 for 3 yesterday. If he keeps going 1 for 3, you're going to see, I mean, which would lead you to a 333 batting average. It's going to drop. I mean, to keep the pace, thinking you're going to be above 550 or above 500 is crazy. I mean, you've only had 2 players in the history of the program hit 400 in the season. Todd Walker did it, and of course, Rafe Rhymes did it. So if he's above 400, anywhere above 400, it's just incredible. And I think It's hard to imagine his batting average dropping 100 and I think he's at 522 right now. He's at 522. So it's hard to imagine his batting average dropping 122 points further. But it's baseball. It's a game of averages. There's going to be there's going to be like his hitting streak is going to end. There's going to be an 0 for 4 day eventually. But I do think he'll hit above 400 for the season, which is incredible to say and to say sort of flippantly. But he's incredible. Yeah, long way to go though. Patrick Cason, Danny Jackson. Hate it when you take time away from AFR, but your boy does a decent job. Go Tigers. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, Musso's doing a good job, man. Growing up before our very eyes. Jason Austin, what's going on? How do you feel about the matchup with Iowa? Talked about that a little bit ago. I like it much better than the matchup with South Carolina. South Carolina's bigs would have been a huge problem for LSU, like we saw in the regular season matchup. Iowa is a different matchup, but it also allows LSU to do what they do well, which is get in the paint, finish in the paint, get looks in the paint, rebound, clean up the mess, get offensive rebounds, second chance points. It gives you that opportunity, which you wouldn't have against South Carolina. Danny Jackson, we need some bat flips during the whooping we put on Tennessee today. You face Drew Beam today from Tennessee. Remember, he was the SEC Freshman of the Year a year ago. He's their Sunday guy. Their rotation is a three-headed monster. They are great, and today is a challenge, just like the last 2 days were a challenge. But LSU's managed to break through each of the last 2 days. See if they can do it again today. Alan Darr, Jordan Menser, Kirby get hit with a level 1 recruiting violation. Big deal, no big deal. I mean, it's only a big deal if they end up like having a postseason ban. That's the only thing that really matters with respect to the NCAA. Jason said definitely post-game whiskey and wine. Okay. Alex Barnes, good morning, Matt. How do you feel about LSU's chances against Iowa rather than South Carolina? I mean, we answered that. I just answered it actually, but yes, hot dog it. Sorry. Jeb Whitley, game coin to the moon. Morning, Matt. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Go Lady Tigers. Yeah, man. So if you missed it, a lot of y'all have asked about game coin, and we did post an update yesterday, which was very exciting. Just a quick recap. The most notable news that GameCoin has hired a company out of the UK called Eskimo, and they are an addition in the development team that should accelerate and push us across the finish line with the platform. And they also are ones that had some great ideas about introducing certain video components to it. And in the coming days, weeks, we are going to start leaking photos and how-tos and images of the platform so you can see it. But it's exciting, man. It's really, really exciting. Okay. Let's see. Gulf South. Have you been a lifelong Yankees fans? How did Mariano Rivera end up strictly as a closer instead of a starter or relief pitcher? With all the talk of closers today, got me wondering. Well, when Rivera came up, remember John Wetland was actually the closer in '96, so Rivera was the setup man. Rivera pitched the 8th and John Wetland pitched the 9th, and then that was their first championship in '96. And then the next year, Rivera became the closer. The reason is because Rivera had one pitch. If you're going to be a starter at the professional level, I mean, you have to have 3 or 4 pitches. Rivera had one pitch. He threw a cutter. It was just that it was the most dominant pitch that nobody could ever hit. So he didn't have an overpowering fastball. He didn't have a wipeout slider. He didn't have a hammer of a breaking ball. He threw a cutter, and it was a cutter that nobody could hit. So that's why. I mean, the thing, when you think about like Zach Hess, for example, max effort, could throw 100, really struggled to command his secondary stuff, which is why he's a reliever. Lang had command of multiple pitches, but his put away pitch was that hammer that he would throw. He'd throw it 58 feet, and everybody would swing over the top of it. But again, another max effort guy that you worry about being able to extend, throughout 30 starts in a big league season. When you look at Paul Skeens, he can throw 4 pitches for strikes, and the fact that he can throw 100 but make it look effortless because of his motion. It's why he's not just a reliever that's going to throw 100, because he can command 4 pitches and he's shown his durability. So yeah, good question. All right, always down for a whiskey and wine type of show. Okay. Thomas Lamott's so freaking pumped about Griffin Herring. Man, he looked good. Think about it, Griffin Herring didn't even get to pitch. He's the guy that Jay said, look, all the run rules, all the 7-inning run rules he's the guy that it affected most, because it took away innings and opportunities from a guy like that. So they threw him out there. Jay was like, he's pitching against Arkansas. Put him out there, perform. Here you go again. He was awesome last night. Jared Esprit, let's see, I don't go to Don Juan or Pluckers because I don't live there, but I definitely look forward to watching via YouTube. Okay. Peter, infield pop-up should have been automatic. Don't volunteer. Palumbos on the go. Neil Milazzo have been so good behind the plate. They've been fun to watch. Funny how everybody except Vitello knew the SEC would humble Tennessee. Realistically, Randall, I think he knew coming into this year, when you lose 8 of your regular starters in your everyday lineup, that it was going to be a little different for them this year. But they got the pitching, and I'm going to tell you this, man. Don't think that this is the end for Tennessee. They absolutely have the arms. I mean, they got swept in Missouri in the opening weekend when it was 20 degrees and miserable, and they came back and swept Texas A&M. Now, they may get swept today by LSU, who's a better team, but their pitching is plenty good enough to beat anybody in the SEC, and eventually some of those young bats are going to grow up and come around. Like I said this on Thursday, Tennessee this year is not as good as they were last year. They will never have a team as good as the team they had a year ago. They just didn't win the national championship. They threw up on themselves in a home super regional. But that was the best team they've ever fielded, the best team they'll ever field. Like LSU will never field a team better than 2019. Ever. LSU will never have, it was the best team in the history of college football. They will have great teams, and LSU will have championship teams, but they will never have a team better than 2019. So, but LSU won the championship. Tennessee, same thing. Like, they will never have a team better than 2022, and they don't have a championship to show for it. So, but that doesn't mean this team isn't good enough to win a championship. This Tennessee team is good enough to win the national championship. You just got to be hot at the right time. So I'm not writing their obituary, right? I'm not throwing dirt on them, because regardless of what happens today, they're not done. Scone, what's up from Matsu, Alaska? All right, Gwen, good to see you, man. Juan, good morning. Do you see Sarah Spain's comments about Kim Mulkey? I did not see her comments about Kim Mulkey, and I really don't care. I think Sarah Spain is, well, I don't have a lot of respect for Sarah Spain, professionally. And by the way, it's not just because of a difference of opinions. Like, sports are supposed to be fun. Everything about sports doesn't have to be a commentary on social issues and the like. Like, sports can be fun. Like, it's okay to use sports as escapism and to go have fun. I'm not saying there aren't real world issues in sports, but when that's the thing, that is constantly the prism and the lens through which you see, I just have a problem with that. So, to each their own. Samuel Smith, if LSU baseball wins the series next week at South Carolina, would you say they are almost a lock to host a regional at that point because of the schedule of the rest of the year? A regional, yes. I think that'll happen for sure. They'll be one of the top 16 teams. It would take a pretty epic collapse for LSU to not be a national seed this year. Fred, Skeens, Cruz, White, Morgan are stars. In my opinion, the story of this team is to support crew like Peloso, Dugas, Edwards. Team first couldn't be happier for them. Yeah, especially in the portal age. Brian Penn, let's do whiskey and wine, Matt. We might get that. We'll make some calls today, see if we can do it. Cortland, is this the best rotation LSU faces? Yes. Florida and Vanderbilt could challenge it, but LSU isn't going to play Florida or Vanderbilt this year. So one of those things where the schedule kind of flipped in LSU's favor. They didn't have to face those teams. Let's see. The Iowa guy said he's giving up football. Would love to see what Wes Johnson could do with him. He threw. So it's Brody Brecht, by the way, who LSU played in the Round Rock Classic. Did y'all see this video? Brody Brecht threw 104 miles an hour yesterday. Look up the video. It's Brody Brecht from Iowa, who's a receiver for Iowa. I'm trying to see if Brecht is a. So he is 2024. So Brecht, I wasn't sure he was draft eligible sophomore. So Brecht does have another year of college baseball. Bring him on. Come on. Greg Girard, good morning. P. Scott, give Scott Woodward a statue. Would he be the first ever athletic director to get a statue? Will we see Thompson playing the bigs? You know what, Greg? I will give a nod to Ryan Terrio, who a year ago said that Jordan Thompson is a big leaguer. Even when everyone else was crapping on him for errors, Terrio said Jordan Thompson is a big leaguer. And he would know, but I think sometimes like fan narratives grow very loud. And Thompson struggled at the beginning of last year. And most people forgot, he's always been clutch with his bat, as we've seen over and over again. And in the second half of last year was very good defensively. But anytime he would make an error, it would be, Thompson, always kicking the ball around. He was great in the second half of the year last year, and he's been great this year. So, yes, I mean, he's got range. He's got the arm strength to play anywhere on the left side of the infield. If it's not short, he could certainly play third. He's got the arm to do it. He's just got to be able to go into professional baseball and hit. Defensively, he can absolutely do it. But if he goes into pro ball and hits and keeps ascending through the ranks, yes, I do believe he will be a big leaguer. I do. Gulf South, bigger upset. Notre Dame over Tennessee in the Supers last year, or Iowa over South Carolina last night. Also 1,000% agree about Sarah Spain. I would say the bigger upset. Probably Notre Dame. Tennessee was that good, y'all. I get it. And South Carolina was undefeated, and they're great. And they were an 11-point favorite. But man, I don't remember what the odds were of that super regional going in of Notre Dame winning it. But at Tennessee against that team, I just did not see that coming at all. I didn't see last night with Iowa coming at all either. But Chance, hope Iowa is emotionally drained, left it all on the court last night. Hunter Picard, boiling them crawfish today. Let's get the sweep. All right, man, enjoy your Saturday. Lawrence Burley, Ghastly Gamer, I'm behind, but Nikki Fargas, or whatever her name is, has a history of bringing race card into everything. She did the same thing post-game conference last night. I didn't see what she said last night. And I don't know that she has a history of bringing race into things. I covered her for 10 years here, and I've never thought that as a thing. Cortland Jacob. Well, okay, so that's all right. So has an athletic director ever gotten a statue? Or would Woodward be the first athletic director to get a statue? And he said no because Skip was the athletic director. Yes. However, Skip doesn't have a statue because he was the athletic director. Skip has a statue wearing a baseball uniform outside of the baseball stadium because he's got the statue as a baseball coach, which we all know. So yes, asterisk, there are coaches who have gone on to be athletic directors. My point is, let me re-ask the question, Cortland. Has someone who has only been an athletic director and never been a coach gotten a statue? Brennan. Oh, that's got to be St. Germain. Okay. What is Thompson's batting average with runners in scoring position? I don't have those splits. Sorry. They have them. I know LSU keeps them. The coaches will have them, but I don't have access to those splits. I can find out. If the Tickfaw tactician has shown me anything, put your money on the Lady Tigers. D. Is Woodward the best AD in the nation, in your opinion? I know, Cortland. I got it. Is Woodward the best in the nation? So I think it's kind of like asking, if you look at CEOs of Fortune 100 companies and saying, oh, who's the best CEO? Well, I mean, they're all Fortune 100 companies, right? So like they've all got great CEOs that know how to manage a balance sheet and how to be progressive and move their companies forward and hire good people. I mean, it's all the characteristics and traits you want. So there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of really good ADs that do that. But it's very impressive what Scott's done, mostly because of his ability to get the things he needs. When he wanted to hire Kim Mulkey, he was able to go talk to the right people and convince them to spend the money to pay her. When he wanted to fire Ed Ogeron and needed $17 million, he got it. He wanted to hire Brian Kelly, needed $100 million, he got it. Like he's very effective communicator in getting the things he wants. So, oh, Cortland, I know you're just having fun, man. I'm teasing you. I'm just teasing you. So Fred, he's not the only AD in the country that could do that, but I'm glad he's where he is. Are there lines out for the LSU women's basketball game yet? Let me see. I'm sure there is. Iowa by 3. Iowa 3. Or it might be just about done. Shelby, I agree on Kyle Peterson. Peace, guys. LSU going after the D-line coach from Texas. Do you think this will affect recruiting this summer? They'll have a coach in place before the summer. I think they will vet a lot of potential options. I'm curious if they make Gerald Chapman a permanent fixture at defensive line coach. We'll see. By the way, LSU football had media availability at 9:45, so you should. And then Mike Denbrock meets the media today at like 11:45. So around 11:45-ish, noon, you'll start to get some LSU football practice updates coming out, and Mike Denbrock info. So if you're tooling around on Twitter or social media, you should start to get those around noon. Joel Atkins said anything about defensive line coach? Just kind of talked about that a little bit. And Kelly should hire Coach O for D-line. Oh, jeez. Fred, I know you're high on Joe Bear. Curious your thoughts on sitting Jones for him. Yeah, it's not, Fred, it's not necessarily that I'm high on Joe Bear. And I think Braden's great. I mean, he had 18 taters last year. I mean, he's a good player. It was more so this weekend, facing 3 righties, would Jay stack the lineup with lefties? Like literally the lineup he went with yesterday is the lineup I thought he would go with all weekend. With Joe Bear in left, Pearson in right, Morgan at first, Beloso DH. Like, that's the lineup I thought he would go with all weekend. So, I think Jones is fantastic. He's going to play a huge role on this team as a DH and as a first baseman. Morgan's ability to play left gives you that flexibility to keep him in the lineup. So anyway, there's a lot. It's not necessarily that I'm high on Joe Bear and not on Jones. I think they're very similar. Both big dudes, strong dudes that can run the ball out of the yard. You are going to have some swing and miss with both of them, but one's from the left side, one's from the right. And I just thought this weekend would be a time where they go with Joe Bear. So like literally, if you go back before the series started, the lineup that we talked about was exactly the lineup they ran out yesterday. Morgan in left, Pearson in right. Joe Bear in left, Pearson in right, Morgan at first, Beloso DH. So, because the right-handed hitters in this lineup, like, they're going to be in my lineup every day no matter what. Like, Cruz and Tommy White, Neal, like, those guys are going to be in my, Thompson, those guys are going to be in my lineup every day no matter what. Dugas. All right. Let's see. Tweet from Leah Van. Chase Burns faced 20 batters and 378 pitches. Through 78 pitches. 50 of which were strikes. Gave up 5 runs on nothing but extra base hits. That says a ton about this lineup. P. Scott, thanks, Matt. Also, is a good sign Brian Kelly's keeping everything vanilla this spring. Yeah, I mean, it's golly, compared to last spring, where it was a whirlwind. He was trying to put his roster together, his coaching staff together. All right, best day for LSU Athletics since January of 2020. January 13th of 2020, to be exact. Erica's and my anniversary, the day LSU and Joe Burrow finished their coronation. Baby Bobby, all right, last one. Last night in game, you could get the Tigers at plus 675 for 2 minutes. Then it began to fall for every 30 seconds. Oh, wow. All right, we are done. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on YouTube still, 234 watching live. Appreciate y'all so much. Trey Potan, what's going on? Please smash that like button. As always, shout out to Brock. Need North Peace, go to Brock. Hudco Roofing. Would love to give you a free no obligation. Oh. Let me remind you again. Hudco, we now do financing. If your insurance company has dropped you, we'll give you $1,000 off the price of your roof. And if you install a fortified roof, which we're a certified fortified roofing company, we'll knock an additional $500 off the cost of your roof. And regardless if you use us or not, make sure you look into fortified roofing because this is something that our legislature is about to make mandatory. There are already bills in the Louisiana legislature for this. And the insurance companies have already listed their premiums, their discounts for fortified roofs. We have a graphic posted at the Hudco Social where it's like, okay, whatever insurance company, and then the discount. Like one of them, it's as much as like 52.5%. 52.5% discount on your insurance premium with a fortified roof. Anyway, so if you need info, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Go Tigers. Let's get the sweep of Tennessee today. And have an awesome one. We'll see you. Peace. Smash that like button on the way out. And vote in the best 225. Vote for your boy. Best 225. Vote for your boy.